From Fedya, I learned the simplicity of geometry and the complications of trigonometry. He was very good at that. Became a newspaper lithographer and pretty much dropped out of the movement. From Most, I learned to speak. From Brady to read. From Sasha to work and suffer. And from Ben to enjoy myself and suffer. So how did all this prepare me for living my life?
You put everything into living your life, and sometimes didn't think what that left or didn't leave others.
That's not true, Sasha. And it's not fair either. Your books were magnificent. Prison Memoirs of an Anarchist, Bolshevik Myth, and all the others.
And who reads my books today?
Well, what could I do? You were in prison. My heart was there with you.
Don't feel sorry for me. I knew what I did, and forgiven I don't want to be.
Sasha!
Don't treat me like a kid. I died in jail. Who remembers my crime? What did you do all that time?
What did I do? I worked to get you out. I tried to get Andrew Carnegie to intercede for a shortening of your sentence. It was his company where all the trouble started. That great humanitarian. You think he cared about the common man?
Only if the criminal renounces violence.
Ha! Damn bastard!
I knew that was out of the question. So what was I to do? I spoke out. For that, I was in prison myself for a year from 1893 to 94. Then, in 1895, I went to Vienna to study nursing, enrolling as a student under the name
Mrs. E.G. Brady.
which I sort of was at that point. One of my teachers was a fellow named Sigmund Freud.
Dr. Freud, like George Bernard Shaw, now regards Mussolini as a hero of culture. Italy's such a beautiful country, minus Mussolini. E.G. Smith.
I managed a troupe of Russian actors who were stranded in New York after the 1905 revolution. And when you came out of prison, Sasha, I made you editor.
Well, you and Mr. Reitman were off on your speaking tour.
Dr. Reitman!
Oh, cut it out, you two boys, don't fight. What else have I done? Professionally. I've run an ice cream parlor, a massage parlor. Even tried street walking once. Don't laugh. Prostitutes were the only ones who'd take me in after McKinley's assassination. And now, if I ever do get back to America, I have an offer to go on the Vaudeville stage. What do you think of that, Roger?
That's just where America finds its heroes today. On the vaudeville stage and in the movies.
Dear E.G., I certainly urge you most strongly not to consider the vaudeville offer. I know the kind of ballyhoo that promoters would surround you with.
Yes, sirree! It's the Emma Goldman Radical Roadshow! See America's most famous deportee! Remember Isadora Duncan's barefoot act? Now catch Emma G. and her anarchist act! Margaret Leach will now recite her prize-winning poem. Go to it, Maggie!
I am oh so sorry that our president is dead. And everybody's sorry, so my father said. And the horrid man who killed him is a-sitting in his cell. And I'm glad that Emma Goldman doesn't board at this hotel.
Yes, indeed, Emma Goldman is a witch. If she doesn't eat little children, it's only because she kills them off before they're born. She lectures on subversive authors like Ibsen and his doll's house. Men, do you want your wives to leave you? Then read this pamphlet. Free love, only 25 cents. And come hear Emma's lectures. See her manufacturing bombs, gambling in crowned heads. Anybody want a pamphlet? Here, very good pamphlet. Yeah, it's against the law, but it's a good pamphlet. We hand out condoms, baby. This is the basics of birth control.
Against the manufacture of bombs.
And this, indeed, now it's the Emma Goldman Radical Roadshow. It's time to see and hear Emma Goldman lecturing on...
Dictatorship, right and left. The collapse of German culture. Modern religious hysteria. The menace of war. And the universal moral evidence of the intelligentsia.
The American Civil Liberties Union and our committee are all working to make it possible for you to give those lectures, E.G., under decent auspices.
What is this committee and who's on it?
Sinclair Lewis. Sherwood Anderson. Elmer Rice. A.J. Musty. John Dewey. Corliss Lamont. Eugene O'Neill has spoken up. And even Norman Thomas.
All good civil libertarians.
You mean all good communists? Everybody knows that the American Civil Liberties Union accepts communists on their board of directors, which means they are all nothing but a bunch of communists as far as I'm concerned.
And as far as I'm concerned, that's the kind of thinking that makes me ashamed of ever wanting to come back to America.
Girl, E.G., give it to him.
Don't you people have any respect for independent thinking of any kind? God damn it to hell, Roger! Why did I ever come here to Toronto? Off the border day after day, from early morning to late at night.
When I was deported, I dreamed I'd go to Russia and organize the Russian Friends of American Freedom.
Which Lenin would only permit as supervised by the Bolsheviks, of course.
I would never work within the confines of the state. And I'd marry an American and come back in triumph to the only place in the world where I'd ever almost felt at home.
Then
America.
they changed the law, so even marriage couldn't repatriate the deportee.
So what do I do now? I write letters, thousands of them. I read. I prepare speeches, which will probably never be delivered. I think. In occupational terms, nothing at all. I try to entertain. When guests come, I serve them blintzes and tea in a glass. My occupation. Well, maybe it would be more interesting to list my preoccupations. I wonder where the money for next month's rent is coming from. I wonder what my friends are doing in their separate enclosures, and which of them, like me, may be on the brink of suicide. Accumulating any more prison convictions and yet remaining faithful to my own convictions.